Hey there, it's Nate from Navigator Bookkeeping. I wanted to put together a video summarizing the CARES Act and all the pieces of information that are relevant for small business owners, because there's just so much information flying around about this right now, and I'm hoping to provide a resource to both my clients and those who are not my clients, just because I know it's a lot to take in. So hopefully this can be helpful to you. Just a disclaimer, I'm not an attorney or a CPA, so this is not legal advice. It's simply a summary of my interpretation and discussions that I've had with other professionals about the CARES Act and what it means for small business owners. So please just remember that. The purpose is just to provide a basic summary for business owners, not legal advice, not telling you necessarily the only way to do things. So getting into it, there's two main programs here in the CARES Act. Number one is the Paycheck Protection Program, or the PPP, and the other one is Economic Injury Disaster Loans, the EIDL, and EIDL Grants. The grants are the ones that are getting a lot of publicity and information right now, because there's a lot of talk about being able to receive $10,000. So we will get into that. First of all, though, the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, this program is basically in place, as you can tell, to help business owners cover the cost of payroll, so they don't have to lay off employees, and so they don't have to get crushed under the weight of wages and taxes and all that good payroll stuff. So it is provided through local banks. Those banks have to be SBA 7A lenders, which just means they're approved SBA banks to handle this process. I'm going to put a link in the description so you can find those lenders, but these are just the local banks. This is not directly through the SBA, though it is backed by the SBA, if that makes sense. Can be used for payroll costs, group benefits, interest on business loans, other payments. Here's the cool thing. The amounts that you use on those qualified expenses, which also include rent, utilities, mortgage payments, can be forgiven. There's a time period, I believe it's 6 or 8 weeks, but after that time period, those costs can be forgiven if they're used for the right reasons and if you can prove that to your lender, which is a bank. A couple other pieces of information. It's effective from February 15 through June 30. So this is a temporary program. If some of your costs are not forgiven, they do have pretty good repayment terms, repayment up to 10 years, and interest is not to exceed 4%. I will put that link in the description for finding these lenders. Now, the EIDL grants, this is the big piece of publicity that a lot of business owners are talking about. $10,000 available to you as a grant. What's going on? Here's what we have so far, and there's more information that just came out like 30 minutes ago. This is updating really quickly, but EIDL grants can only be obtained, first of all, through an application for an EIDL loan. Now, EIDL loans have been around for a while already, but they've been expanded to cover the entire country, and now these grants have been added in. Basically, what the grants are is they are an advance of the loan. But here's the crazy thing. The advance is actually a grant, and it will not need to be repaid. So it is up to $10,000 that is the business owners, as long as it's used for qualified expenses. Now, what is a little unclear is whether it's actually just $10,000 or whether the amount will fluctuate depending on the business's needs and what's going on with that. My interpretation is that the amount will change depending on what the SBA sees as each business's needs, as well as the size of the business, but I'm not sure on that. So that's something that we'll have to figure out as time goes on. Grant applications have literally just become available. I actually recorded one video and then they came out, so I've recorded this one again because the application has just come out. I'll put a link for it. It's called the Disaster Loan Assistance COVID-19 Economic Injury Disaster Loan Application. Nice long phrase there. On the page, it says it should take you 2 hours. I'm not sure it's actually going to take that long. I've heard from a couple people it took them only 15 or 20 minutes, so we'll have to see about that. But anyways, the application is available right now. Now, $10 billion, B billion, is available for these grants. But if you think about how many small businesses there are in the country, I think there's around 30 million, these funds are going to run out. So you do want to move quickly on this. But once again, you have to apply for an EIDL loan to get these grants. Basically, when you apply for the loan, whether you're approved or denied for the loan, they will still give you the grant. That's the cool part about it. But you do need to apply for the loan either way. So what are these loans? They're obtained through an application with the SBA. The loan itself, not talking about the grant right now, can be used for sick leave for employees, payroll, higher costs for supply because of supply chain changes because of COVID-19, rent, mortgage, and then this last piece for paying obligations due to revenue loss. That basically just means if your revenue has changed because of COVID-19, obviously changed negatively, you can use this loan for those reasons. So a lot of business owners are wondering if this applies to them. Basically, if COVID-19 has messed with your revenue, messed with your profit, not your profit, just messed with your revenue, this works for you, okay? Now, I said profit before. That's actually not true. Basically, they're just looking at, has COVID-19 negatively affected you? They're not really worrying about how much profit you're taking or how much you're paying yourself, of course. It just, is it negatively affecting your business? And you can and will need to apply for this loan as soon as you can if you are hoping to get some of the grant money or the loan money itself as well. So what's needed for this application? Obviously, a lot of information because they need to prove that you are a real business. First of all, you need to be a small business, which there's different definitions on the SBA's site, but the biggest overarching one is you need to have under 500 employees. And then there's different classifications depending on what field or industry you're in. So you have to look on their website for that. But SBA Form 5 is the basic application. That's a little different now if you're not doing just the loan. That would be what you'd use if you're just getting the business loan. But there's this new form for the grant and the loan combined. I will put the link in the summary for you so you can see that. Tax info authorization form, IRS form, basically just saying you need your federal tax returns. You need a complete copy of your most recent federal income tax return. So basically, if you have your return for 2019, they'll need that. If you don't have your form for 2019, you will probably need your financial statements for 2019 instead, your balance sheet, your profit and loss, and you'll probably still need 2018's federal income tax return. They need the personal financial statement, which is SBA Form 413. That's basically just showing the whole personal side of your financial life. So life insurance, retirement, loans, assets, all that. And then Schedule of Liabilities, Form 2202. That's basically on the business side, all the loans and liabilities that you may have. You'll probably also need 2019's profit and loss and balance sheet, like I said, as well as year-to-date statements and probably monthly sales figures as well. Now, this is all going off of the loan application before this new application came out. So you may not need all of this, but it's good to get it. But do notice that you will need updated books. If you don't have updated books, this may be hard to apply for. So if your books are not updated, you may want to quick update those before you apply, or as soon as you apply, get them updated. So that if they check in on that, that will be all set to go. A couple of resources for you. I'm going to give you the SBA's application page, and then I'm going to give you 2 frequently asked question web pages from the US Senate. So they're from a good source. These are the people who passed it, and they just give some more information. They're actually really helpful on what you can expect from these. So I hope this is helpful. Hopefully these programs can provide some really needed assistance to a lot of small business owners, because I know a lot of small business owners are hurting out there. So hopefully this can help out. And if you have any questions, love to help as much as I can. Like I said, I'm not an attorney, but I have done some research, and I kind of live in the financial world for businesses, so I'd love to help out as much as possible. So if you have any questions, want to just bounce something off, please reach out, put a comment in, send me an email, or give me a phone call. Love to help in any way possible. All right, I hope this has been helpful. Thank you very much.